In a recent interview, James Gunn revealed that he is struggling with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 budget, and that if he wanted to put everything in the film that he wants, it would have to be almost a double. This has caused, well, some turmoil online, but people aren't actually looking at what he said and what he's actually trying to say, because once you actually put the context back in, it starts to make sense. So this came from a recent interview with Collider, where James Gunn was talking about the struggle, quote unquote, with Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, of course, that's the headline that they use, and they talk about how the budget is the struggle. And people are like, oh my god, the budget's the problem, it's going to be cheap, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And you have to actually read, well, all of it, or listen to everything that he's saying to understand what he is saying. So what he said is when he's at the writing process and writing away and trying to come up with the initial idea and putting everything he wants in it, that it's pretty much double what you end up having. And he said it's close to $500 million for just shooting the film if he could be allowed to put everything that he wants in the film. But of course, that's not the way that things are done, because typically these films are between $175 to $250 million on the Avengers side of things, and Guardians will land somewhere in there. Now, what he's saying is if he was allowed to do everything he wanted, go as grandiose as he wanted, include like 30 locations, all the characters, all the special effects, non-stop visual flair, it probably would be like, $500 million. But again, as he talks about it, it's hard because you have to pull yourself back and you have to make something that fits into what you have, that also serves the story, and you can't just go out there going crazy. And he says a lot of times you're forced to rethink many of the creative ideas and come up with better solutions because you don't have unlimited money. And again, people are going to say this is like the cheapifying and stuff, but let's just go back and look at George Lucas. When he originally wanted to make the first Star Wars series in like 2006, 2007, each episode was going to cost close to $150 million. That's on par with each film, because he literally told the people, hey, write whatever you want, don't worry about budget, we'll figure that out when the time comes. So they literally approached it with, oh, we can feature 10, 12 planets per episode. We can feature all the Jedi, all the things we want, lightsabers, Sith, powers, all this. That's not how it works. That's great as an idea, which is why comics and books and video games can allow you to do things that you never see anywhere else and explore these worlds. But once you start translating that to it has to look real, you got to take it back. And that's why he's saying that, hey, if I was allowed to do anything I want, and the first pass of a script I did, yeah, it would cost $500 million, because realistically it would, because James Gunn would toss everything he wants in there. Probably even characters that are embargoed, and the studios would want like millions of dollars to use them, like Rom, for example. So yeah, understand what he's saying before making him or Disney or anybody out to be the bad guy.